Here he collects poets and pipers, druids and drunks, landed and stranded gentry. He likes to have his friends about him. And when they die, he keeps their death masks close at hand. And indeed, their hands. His own likeness by Lucian Freud is a death mask of his youth. For the faith has gathered wisdom and the sorrow of years to itself since then. About Gareth and this place, the poet John Montague wrote,
Luggala. Again and again in dream I return to that shore. When there is a wind rising, a gull is trying to skim over the pines, and the waves strike and whisper along the bright sickle of the little strand. Shoving through reeds and rushes, leaping over a bog-brown stream, I approach the temple by the water's edge, death's shrine, cornerstone of your sadness. I stand inside by one of the pillars of the mausoleum and watch the water in the stone basin. As the wind ruffles cease, a calm surface appears like a mirror or crystal, and into it your face rises, sad beyond speech, sad with an acceptance of blind, implacable process. For by this grey temple are 3 tombs, a baby brother, a half-sister, and a grown brother, killed at 21. And their monuments of Wicklow granite are as natural here as the scattered rocks, but there is no promise of resurrection, only the ultimate silence of the place, the shale-littered face of the scree, the dark, dark waters of the glacial lake.
I had to explain to people who've never been.
Magic leaks out of that lake, and people and things are intensified in this house, made better or worse, and whatever they are more so here. I think we must be cosmic cousins, you know, John, with these noses.
Well, I think we belong to the bird people, who are always very nice to the bird people, and then sometimes they come down. It's the trees.
Yeah, we get mixed up with the trees.
Mixed up with the trees.
Gareth's marriage to an Indian princess gave full rein to his pleasure in ritual and regalia.
Would you change it for dinner?
So did I, but I couldn't decide what to wear.
Jesus, Paddy, that was a fair bit of bloody piping.
It's absolutely incredible. It wouldn't be so remarkable in India.
Let me down again, Paddy.
From Loch Tay at Luggala, the bog water begins to form a river in the glacial valley, and it cuts a path into a second lake, Loch Dan. On the lower shore, a tangled thicket discourages intruders, but if you can pass through it, you come upon a secret corner of the valley where lies one of the last fragments of primal oak forest. Much of northern Europe looked like this 1,000 years ago. The oak was sacred to the ancient Celts. They cut it down on pain of death. They feared the wrath of the Green Man, the malevolent spirit of the woods. If the Green Man lived still, he would live in such a place.
Is this a military exercise in here, of all places? Come closer. Camouflage? You could say that. It's you again. The Green Man. Can't you leave me alone? I just want to take a walk. Alone.
Alone? Only a fool would come to a wood like this to be alone. You're in the midst of life. Death Dealer. Are you in the heart of the world? Trespasser, desecrator, tree feller.
You've always been at war with us, long before we began to destroy you. Because you're the enemy. You always have been. Peace! Peace and harmony is what we want, you malignant bastard!
The ropes are still here after more than 10 years. For it was in this same wood and on this very tree that we strung up the knights of King Arthur who had failed to find the Grail and heal the land. They hung like rotting fruit. This oak wood, so vibrant with life, is also a place of death and decay. Just below Lockdown, the river passes my house and divides my land. We built a bridge across it, which the architect, Jeremy Williams, designed. I wanted a sword bridge, so narrow that one man with a sword, or a dog, could defend it against an army. It gives access to 35 acres on which we have planted 13,000 native broadleaf trees. Jeremy helped Morchin and I plan the series of groves and the network of walks and rides between them. We started off with the idea of this key view from the house and back to the house, with blocks of trees of different species planted on each side. We began to work out which trees would be suitable to the several soil types in the land. And then along came Jeremy, and he said, no, you mustn't have these straight lines and blocks of trees. You must work them into groves that are curved or rounded. And so we began to develop this drawing, which takes into account the views of the mountains in various directions and the rides and walks along by the two rivers, all leading the eye to the little bridge. So this is how you think these groves will be when they're mature and we're all dead and gone, Jeremy?
Yeah. Well, these groves will be headlands jutting forward, and this grassy ride will be like a river coming down between them.
It looks as though nature made it rather than man, although in fact it's completely artificial.
Yes, but the elements are woodland and pasture. And so the idea is man in harmony with nature, not man against nature.